hotel. We call this hotel as select service. What is select service in the hotel industry? You can see that full service and select service. Full service, that what you want anything that hotel has provide to you, like room service, business center, and there's a variety of the restaurant. So we are 4-star with the select service. Select service, this we just focus what the client need when they stay at the hotel. And we don't have business center, but we have the business corner over there. And this is our one-stop service we call gallery host as the high place concept. There's one-stop service. This person, they can provide you anything, check-in, check-out, coffee to cocktail. Different from the other brand that they have separate check-in area, concierge, and lobby bar. So this one is a kind of one-stop service. We are the first brand in Bangkok, but in the future there's a lot more from in the high place brand in Thailand. So and in Thailand right now there are 2 hotels in Bangkok and the other one in Phuket, Patong. So in the pipeline of the Hyatt, the Hyatt is will be one of the growth brand under the Hyatt company. So this hotel we are located, we can say that is the good location as the personality of the brand. We are stylish. You can see the decoration. We are straightforward. We are not complicated. And the other one, we are approachable. What we promise and we promise to the client, we offer the comfortable, convenient, with seamless experience. Okay, for this hotel there are 222 rooms, and we have 33 floors. I will show you the bedroom category, and the next one is called specialties. And we also have the facility on the 19th floor. As I mentioned to you that this one is very straightforward, not complicated. So then the product is very easy to understanding. And we will separate for 2 groups, and one group with me and the other group with, let me introduce myself. Forgot, sorry. I'm Director of Sales. My name is Chanata. You can call me KOB. I'm in charge of Sales and Marketing Department. And one of my colleagues, Kun Soy, Tanyaporn, she's a Sales Manager. So we will split for 2 groups, and then one is followed by follow me, and the other one is follow her. For 4.
Okay, separated from this is like business. Yes, many business tower. So I have to visit. Yes, and propose like a corporate rate to them. Yes. Our location is not far from the BTS Skytrain, and some the tower can like walkable to our hotel, so it's easy to access.
Convenience.
Yeah, it's quite convenient. And the end of the site is close to the tollway
Yes.
to go to the industrial estate. Okay, this is on 9th floor. So we are so for the swimming pool, this and meeting room.
Oh, it's outside.
Yeah, it's outdoor.
Oh, nice.
Especially in Japanese, because almost around this area is quite many Japanese guy.
Oh.
Yes, and Japanese company, and also Kunko. Yeah, another lady. She taking care for like a leisure, like a travel agent. So we have to separate the segment to taking care the client.
Oh.
Yes.
So because around here is a lot of Japanese people, so the hotel itself will have to orient it to Japanese, right?
Yes. And around this area is many Japanese food. Yeah, and
Yes.
spa. Yes, this is like a small community for the Japanese guy.
Yes. So if for example, if the President of United States,
Yeah.
Donald Trump, visiting to Thailand, how can you do to let him to stay here?
But actually for the Hyatt brand, the headquarters is from America, from USA.
Yes.
Yeah, so is the Hyatt brand is like is can sell itself. Yes, and also for the another facility and the location, I think this is a best location to convince any businessman or any nationality to stay with us.
Oh, how about President Donald Trump? How can you make him to stay here? In
So-
Vietnam, the President Donald Trump chose to stay on Metropole Hotel in Hanoi. It's like the capital. So in Bangkok is capital. Metropole in Hanoi is 5-star hotel too. And in the past, we greeting the President George Bush of United States to stay in the, and he chose Metropole Hotel. So how can you do to let him notice your hotel and stay here? What can you do?
Yeah, so in my personal,
Yes.
in my personal, I think he always stay in the like a 5-star and the full service hotel. So and our our main our main point is like a select hotel. Yes, also around this area. Yes, it's many things to do for him. Yeah.
Yes.
So what is different between Hyatt Place and Hyatt Regency?
Hyatt Regency, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for the Hyatt Place is under 4-star hotel, select hotel, and for the Hyatt Regency is like a 5-star luxury hotel. They do like a full service, many restaurant and like a convenience store in the under the in the hotel, inside the hotel. Yes.
Okay.
To provide for the guests. It's like a too convenient. Yeah, but the concept for the Hyatt Place before we build this building, we have to like survey the location first. It's easy to access to the BTS Skytrain. It's near the shopping mall and easy to access to the industrial estate or another province. As I told you, at the end of the site, it's easy to go to highway. So it's the area is the like important for the Hyatt Place.
Oh.
Right. This is the main key for the Hyatt
They have
Place.
two platforms.
Just only 2 pairs in Thailand,
Yeah.
Bangkok and Phuket.
Because I'm check with Google Map, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So currently Hyatt is only targeting for businessman person. How about tourists? How about tourism?
Also the tourist, yes, it's like I informed before because the location is the main point, so it's quite easy for the businessman and also for the tourist because it's nearby restaurant, spa, and shopping mall. Yeah, exhibition.
How far from here to Central World?
Central World. From here, I think about maybe 2-3 kilo. Yeah, but if you take a Skytrain, just I
Maybe
think
5
5.
station.
Yeah, just 5 stations.
I see.
From here to BTS Skytrain, just 200 meter.
Yeah.
That's far.
Yeah. So are you cooperating with? Do you?
Book room.
So for our meeting room, there are 4 meeting room, and on this floor we have 2 meeting rooms.
For how many people?
So for this room, maximum just for 10. Yeah, 10 pack.
What this room is? Gym?
Because right now we have
Still developing?
no yoga. Yeah, yoga.
Every
Yes, yoga.
Every
They just came for rental my pass.
Oh.
when you want to have baby.
Okay, so fitness center. Fitness center
Gym.
open 24 hours.
24.
Oh.
Nice view.
Nice view. What do you think is a
This is
little bit?
half size, yes.
Do you think this is a little bit small for the big hotel?
Yes, I think it's a little bit small, but it's like a concept for the high-end class, just like a select. Yeah,
Oh, prototype.
we provide something that need for the customer, but it's not too variety for the customer.
Yes, like you want to test it first before going for big gym.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
I think there we cannot upgrade though.
Specialty rooms, second room type.
Like
For the square meter is 37 up to 45 square meter. Is depend on layout.
oh,
Yes, you can take a photo.
so this one is like nearly to priority.
Yes, this is a second room type. So
Oh.
I will show another one is standard. This
Oh,
is
standard.
the specialty.
So
Yes, it's
are there
other.
any top?
Yeah. We do have like a suite rooms, but right now it's very booked.
Yeah, okay. Because something special is already full, full every time.
Family room.
Yes, we have a suite rooms, like a one bedroom.
Oh, I see.
So
So this room for couple?
yes, with the view, you see.
Yes.
Very nice view.
Very nice.
For
Park.
everyone.
Park view. So and our sofa is can do like a sofa bed
Yes.
for the third person.
So what is the difference between sales and marketing
So and marketing.
between you and her? Yeah.
For the marketing is like PR our property. Yes, like do like a content or some ad on the like a Facebook, Instagram, and the website. Yes, it's like a promote the hotel. So, but for the salesperson is like visit the client in person to negotiate, to convince, to discuss. Yeah.
Oh, so marketing is how to reach to the new people, and salesperson is to
Marketing
Proceed.
is works closely with like a technology and
and stuff.
yes, like a social media.
Oh, social engineering.
Yeah.
Yes. So because the hotel is service selective,
Yes.
so it will arise a lot of problem between you and customers. For example, I'm the customer who are requiring for custom services, like a little bit this, a little bit that, and combining to a new service. Do you support them,
So
or you only give them what are already there?
we have to listen like the question from the customer first. Yes, if we can do that, we have to discuss with the team first. If we can do, yes, of course, we will do for the guest.
Yeah. For example, I ask for a room, but it's only have one bed, not double bed like this. So I want to have a double bed. Can you provide for them?
For the extra, so you means like an extra bed.
Yes,
No, or
extra
twin-
like
twin
the
bed.
twin bed.
Twin bed.
So you need twin bed, but
Yeah.
we only have the double bed.
The single one like a smaller as a chair. Can you make this?
Yes,
bigger?
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we can do that I informed you before. If our team can do or can find something that make it happen for you, of course, for sure.
But they will have to take the extra fee, right?
I think
Expenses?
it's like a case by case. If we have like a product in our
Now we were
in,
in 16.
in our inventory,
16. Yeah.
no point to charge the guest
16
more.
for-
Just make it them
But
like
the-
appreciate.
But you have to delivering the bed up to here,
No,
right?
now
So
we are
it will
still-
cost
we are
manpower,
visiting rooms.
and
Now
manpower
we are
will
16
cost
floor.
money.
We can come 16 floor. Now we can wait for
Right?
Just
For the
only 16 floor.
hospitality, I think
on the
for
You
our
have to
staff,
discount that.
But you have
Yeah,
to talk
yeah,
to those
can
people who
discount or can make
have the
it
contract
free.
to
It's
help you
not
get
it's not the
off.
big point.
Mm,
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, 1/6.
So that I inform just is depend on case by case. Okay. So I will show another.
What
Yes.
about this room? What is special inside this room?
So for this room is the for sure is the square meter is bigger than standard and with the view. Yeah, because another room type you will not see like a panorama view with the park side. Yeah, you will see is also this room type we do provide like a separate bathroom and bath shower separately, but just some. But I am not quite sure on this room type.
Like this?
Okay. So actually for the specialty, we have some of room that provide separate bathroom and bath shower separately.
This is separate or not? This
No,
is,
no.
It's not this one you made. Okay. It's not this one, right?
No, not this one. With another room type maybe is full.
Okay. And
So this room is quite okay, right? Is like the type 2 top. So
Yes.
so I think bathtub must be included in this, right?
For the bathtub, yes, for this room type we have some that provide bathtub as well. Just is like a depend on the guest request.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see.
okay.
So the kind of bathtub is divided by the customer needs.
Yeah, it's divided by the customer need. And how you can classify this room? I mean, among hotel businesses, like super or what is it?
So actually for this room type in my person, I will sell the customer like manager level or some VIP level. But actually for like a manager or VIP level, they will support like a 5-star hotel.
Yeah.
But when they pay for 5-star hotel, they will got just first category. So the room is quite small but the rate is quite expensive.
Yeah.
But so if you consider like a 4-star hotel like a Hyatt Place, you will got the second category, same like specialty with the room size big with the view. Yeah, and another benefit is quite you will got a lot than 5-star.
Here is a 4-star hotel.
Yes, 4-star. So it means it's like make it value for them. Just pay is less and got the many benefit.
Roughly the rate room rate is average. It depends from what?
So actually I'm taking care for corporate side. For the corporate rate is like a cheaper rate than another website, than online website, travel agent rate. Yes, because we work like minimum volume for the company. Because the company they will have like an expat traveling in every month. Yes, so we work like the volume. So our price is quite attractive. Yeah, with the budget depend on the company.
So you mean in hotel businesses, when you book hotel from the agent and you book directly from the hotel, which one is more beneficial?
I think direct to the hotel is quite get more benefit. Yeah.
Like
in case just example.
Yeah.
In case our first category fully booked, we will consider our direct booking to upgrade to the next category first. Yeah. So it's like a loyalty. We will teach them more value first. Yeah, it's first. Okay, so I will show another room.
Yes. Standard room. Oh.
Yes. For the room size, 25 to 27. Yeah, it's not too big.
I think this one.
Yeah,
can
just
too bad.
for like a single.
I think this sofa can turn too bad.
This is sofa bed for the third person.
That's why I haven't this.
Yeah.
And that's
You
why I
can-
say it's so small.
It can turn too bad.
Yeah, turn to
Really?
for the
Up.
third person.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
not quite sure.
Okay.
Really?
No, I don't practice it.
This one, this
Actually, we just
one.
yeah.
Tell me. No, it's not.
Okay,
But it's sticky.
that's okay.
I think open this, right?
I think for a normal person like me, the room between this and that is not quite much different.
Not quite different.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
it's more Korean. No?
So in some picky people, they will see, oh, why this room is not much different. So I think I will stay in this room.
Okay.
But for normal people, I will have a feeling like I'm staying in a standard room, but feel like more luxurious, like nearly as that room.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
make some
So
mentality.
you mean this room and that room, is it the same, or this is another type of room you have in your hotel?
We will actually we have 5 room type.
5 room time.
Yes, this is the first category.
Okay.
Standard one.
The same
Standard one,
design.
right?
Standard.
Yes.
The same design.
Same design. Yes, we same design.
So this one, this standard one is how much? Roughly in Thai baht is about how much?
Lovely นะคะ lovely 3,000 plus.
Plus.
Yes.
How did you compare this one from like Novotel hotel? For
Novotel.
Novotel rooms in Novotels, what is the benefit from here more than the Novotel?
So we have to do, if we convince with the client,
Yeah.
one company.
Yes.
So I have to ask them first with the main concern of them. So the location or the rate. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah, but well, I mean, this one is your hotel, right? Maybe Novotel around here, because that price is roughly same like some standard room in Novotel. Little bit different. So what is the benefit, or what is make you think you can get a market more than Novotel? Because Novotel once is a big name.
Yep.
Number 2, maybe I think the standard room is more than you.
The main key is what the condition that the client need. Yeah, example, I have one company. Yeah, so for the Novotel and had price is the same level for 4-star as well.
Yes.
Yes. So but for their condition, they need the rate that include breakfast. Yeah, for sure, every hotel can provide the rate with breakfast, but our hotel can provide like a laundry service, 3 pieces per day. Because when I discuss with the client, I will ask them more like a length of stay for your expat. Yeah, I know your expat traveling like 1 week per time. So this is like a value that we can add more for like convince them, for make them is like attractive for our rate. We can add like for laundry service, or if you stay maximum 3 nights, we can offer like a transport to the airport. Yes, just have to know first what the client need,
Because they
and
are,
then we can do like can work a business together.
because this hotel is like the organization is selective services, so everything can be negotiated, like opt in, opt out.
Yes,
So for
it
another,
depend on the guest.
for another hotel, they will sell in like package. You have to buy and you have to use or you will lose.
Because at the moment in the corporate side, we do provide like a room only and room with breakfast. Because I just got comment from the client. In the previous, we have just only one rate, the room with breakfast. But I got comment from the client, but we stay just only 1 night, and sometimes our flight is early morning. We miss the breakfast time. So can you provide the room only rate? Yeah, for sure. And then reduce the rate. It make them is quite attractive.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Policy hotel.
Mà nhân có ủi ta.
Yeah, but we service all the guests.
Okay.
Maybe it's next time.
Yes.
We do provide happy hour.
So happy hour.
À votre avis, everybody has arrived or not yet?
Yes, everyone has arrived. These two universities still arrived.
Everybody has arrived. So thank you, Kun Catherine, for taking some pictures. We will, with your permission, we will use them on our Facebook.
Yes.
We are open to the world. So my name is Philippe Kridelka. I'm the Belgian ambassador in Thailand. I've been ambassador here for 3 years. And we are based in Bangkok. Belgium is not such a big country, so we have an embassy in Bangkok, which is a sort of regional center for us. We follow 4 countries from Bangkok: Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. Plus we have several regional centers in our embassy, like IT center, covering helping all the Belgian embassies from Beijing to, I think, Islamabad with IT problems. We also have the regional accountant checking all the accounts of our embassies from Beijing to, I think, Islamabad or Delhi. It's a pleasure for me and my collaborators, Kunide Sides van der Gracht, who is my deputy, Justine Ampe, who is there, who is my assistant, who has organized, in fact, everything. And we have 2 Belgian interns, 2 Belgian students. And the balance is perfect because, as you know, Belgium has 2 national languages, French and Dutch. And Zoe is on the left, is studying international development in London, is a French speaker, and she came to do an internship at the embassy. And Catherine is a student in international relations after a first master in law from Louvain University, which is, I'm not supposed to say that, the best university in Belgium, ranking, I think, 45 on the one of the Shanghai rankings, high on the. And I've also invited a Cambodian student, Kun Chantong, who studies management here, got a scholarship from the Thai government, and is studying management here in Bangkok. So I will say a few words, then perhaps we could do a tour, so you all introduce yourselves, so I've got an idea from which countries you come from. After that, I think Ides will give a little presentation about our country, and after that we could have a question and answer. We could just speak with you, and you can ask any questions that you want about Europe, about Belgium, about the diplomatic service, what is the role of embassies, because of course we are constantly in contact with ambassadors and embassies from all your countries, Vietnam, from African countries, from, I don't know which country you are from, young lady?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm from India.
You're from India, of course, active embassy of India here as well. Chinese embassy, very central. And so with a very change in the Chinese diplomacy, there is a very positive evolution, but you can ask me after if you want. And after that, there will be some drinks and snacks. A word of introduction. So this is one of the nicest Belgian embassies in the world. They are not all like that. We call it the House of the Belgians. The building is 100 years old. It was built in 1918 by a Thai aristocratic lady. And it's interesting because it's the beginning of modern buildings in a country like Thailand. Thailand is lucky enough, it is the only country in the region not to have been colonized. In the countries which were submitted to colonization, of course, there was European architecture already, Cambodia and Vietnam a lot. Here they didn't have that much. But still, the sort of modern techniques of bowing started to enter Thailand, and you have a mixture of Thai style adaptation of Western architecture to the hot weather, and also a bit of Art Deco styles. Some Thai architects are telling me that in 1918 it is the beginning of the Art Deco style. The Belgian state, the Belgian government bought it in 1935, and it is still in the possession of our country since then. That's why we could preserve the house and the garden in a district that has been completely transformed. Everything has been bought to build skyscrapers. But we are very proud that thanks to that we can keep a little part of a traditional Thai garden and a traditional Thai house in the heart of Bangkok, which is very much appreciated by our Thai friends and Thai partners. So we use it a lot for promotion of the partnership between Thailand and Belgium. Belgian companies use it to invite their partners to have sessions like this one or a meal. When we have royals coming, we organize it here as well. And today they are the students of Dr. Borabi that we are proud to welcome. Voila. This reason for which we are very glad to welcome all of you is that a country like Belgium, we are convinced that middle-sized country, that diplomacy is now more a question of service. Service to our citizens here, service to our companies, service to our universities, service to our civil society organizations, service to our local power. Much more than writing, very deep analysis about the future of the Thai political system that nobody is interested in Belgium, to tell you the truth. So there is also in our countries a change in the. Please sit down. You are welcome. There is still one seat there, and perhaps we will avoid to have a second ring. So perhaps one of the gentlemen would sit here. And so we've been trying for several years now to develop a network of alumni, Thai alumni in Belgium. My colleague, the Thai ambassador in Brussels, is trying to do the same. It's not easy because we have Thai students going to Belgium, not as many as we would like. I will say a word about it if you want. But still, they come back. They don't tell us that they are back. They just so easy for us. We could check with the visas, but then. We don't always get all the data from the visa section, and then they get a visa to go to Belgium. 5 years after they come back, everybody forgot the fact that they got a visa 5 years earlier. But we are trying, and that's why I'm very grateful to Dr. Varabi of his help, because he's one of those active alumni who help us to develop that network. And network of alumni, young people, less young people who studied a long time ago in our country, are of course an asset in bilateral relations. It's good for Thailand, it's good for Belgium. And we start now to have Belgian alumni, Belgian people who did part of their studies in Thailand. We have several of our universities are interested, because of course it shows a big spirit of independence of mind for a Belgian student in management or in international politics to come and spend 1 year here at Chulalongkorn in one of the major intermediate economies of the region. In Europe, when you speak about Asia, everybody thinks about Japan, China. Then in Belgium, Vietnam, Indonesia, and it's very important that also students from the West, from Europe, come to part of their studies in this part of the world, and when they are back to Belgium, they remain, of course, bridges between both countries. Voilà. Dr. Volavi, would you like to add something before we do a tour to the top? Let everybody introduce themselves.
I think that everything's fine. Wonderful speech of ambassador. So we can let them introduce themselves, like their name and where they come from.
Where are you going to sit, Dr. Volavi?
Oh,
Because everybody is sitting, but you have no seat.
It's okay. It's okay. I can stand in with you, ambassador. It's okay.
And on.
It's okay. I can stand.
So you can see immediately we are in Asia. In Europe, the student would stay there, and we put the professor on the simple chair. But we are in Asia, so of course they're very respectful students. Okay. Shall we start there then? Yeah. Thank you, young gentlemen.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Nguyen. I'm from Vietnam. And I study in the KBU University, Kasem University. That's me.
And what do you study?
Business, medicine.
Okay. Very good. Good Chanton.
Yes, I'm Chanton from Cambodia. Right now, some second year students at Punjab University.
This picture, 150 years, actually dates from last year, but we still like it very much, so we keep it last year, in 2018, we celebrated the transatlantic organization. And funny fact is, we are diplomatic, we're business, but honestly, among other things, some of your countries, some for sure, other we have 3 ambassadors in Belgium. One ambassador that deals with Belgian affairs, another ambassador that deals with European affairs, and the third one that deals with NATO matters. So quite a few institutions, and Belgium, small country, actually Brussels, very small city, it's a bit more than 1 million inhabitants, is home to the second biggest amount of journalists in the world. So after Washington, it's in Brussels that the second biggest amount of journalists are accredited. The same goes for diplomats. Belgium, Brussels is the second diplomatic see that Belgium and Thailand have the same GDP. Obviously, population in Thailand is way more important, so the GDP per capita in Belgium is at the moment way higher than in Thailand. If you look at the ranking of the world economy, you will see that from last year, so maybe it already changed this year, Belgium is the 24th biggest economy in the world. Thailand is the 25th biggest economy. So we are very close to each other. But the main difference, GDP per capita, Belgium is a bit richer, but the dynamism we have in this part of this world. Some of you mentioned the fact that being an emerging economy, dynamism is quite different. So in Belgium, we have a GDP growth of 1 to 1.5%. In Thailand, they reached last year a growth of 4%. So one might think that next year, if you come back here and then you go about the ranking, Thailand will be 23rd, 24th, and Belgium will be 25th or 26th. It's part of the dynamic that's here. Belgium, you see, it's a small country within this huge economic area, which is the European Union, exports actually the equivalent of its GDP, taking into account the service and the goods. It imports more or less the same, so basically we are trading in the centrum of Europe. For Thailand, for instance, if we compare these figures, so our external trade equals 100% of our GDP, more or less. This part of the world is closer to 50% of the GDP. But then again, in Belgium, if you export the goods 300 kilometers away, you are in another country. It's not the case in larger countries like some of you. With this rather small GDP, but very important GDP per capita, Belgium still remains the 10th largest exported country in the world and the third or most globalized. So far, we have remembered a small country in the heart of Europe, lot of international institutions, and a very open economy. This was more, I told you, the Thai-Belgian part, but actually the majority of the countries in the world, actually the rest of the countries in the world, pharmaceutical and chemical products would usually be our number one exports. Machines is quite often our number three. Jewelry is often in the top five. Here in Thailand it's quite important in both ways, seriously, because Bangkok is actually a very important hub in the region, and actually in the world when it comes to precious stones. We will come back on it a bit later. Belgium is very, very famous when it comes to diamond certification. Some of you are from India. We are big competitors, but also partners in this sector. And because of diamond, transport equipment, machines and equipment, precious stones, as I told you. Bilateral investments is quite important, but this again is more Thailand related. But since you study here, you might know that what they call the second industrial revolution, so in the late 80s when they created the Matatut area, the Eastern Economic Corridor, lots of foreign companies, Western companies, Asian companies invested in the region. So Solvay, Makoto, Katunas, Umicore are really big names of the Belgian industry. 30 years ago, they invested here in Thailand, when Thailand could still count on cheap labor force. Industrial Revolution 3.0, I don't really understand what it is, but now we are at 4.0. 4.0, and Thailand is trying to attract new talents, new forms of investment, knowledge-based investments, and these companies, these major players of Belgian economy, continue to invest here in Thailand, mainly in the Eastern Economic Corridor, but not only. And then you cover Spain, AGS. It's a big Belgian insurance company that has a joint venture with one Thai insurance here in the country. The Buru and Sudal are, and actually BKI's encounters are also in the industrial sector, but again, they come here not for the cheap labor force, but try to share the technology for a kind of win-win investment. What is quite new is the third bullet point. More recently, Thai companies started to invest in Belgium. Well, actually, we don't have that many yet in Belgium, but it's a growing trend. And as you studied Thailand, it's quite interesting to see that till 3-4 years ago, it was attracting FDIs from all over the world. And now we see that the trend is changing, and Thailand does export more and more to foreign countries. It first started with the CMLV countries, from Asia, neighboring China, India, and then now US and in Europe. Obviously, we welcome these investments because they create money flow towards Belgium, but more and more, and it now starts also win-win technology transfers. The first of this investment here is KBU, which you all know in Thailand. They had a minor investment in Belgium. We're talking about 10 million euros, but they acquired technology that they now use in all their little projects to be put in the microgrid. So it's really a transfer of technology which we develop of. And part of our job, and not 100% our job, but some of our colleagues, will come back with a bit later, is to attract this investment by companies but also from new countries to Belgium is quite important. We mentioned two official languages. Actually, we have 3 of them. The ambassador, of course, speaks 3 of them. I still have to learn the third one, which is German, with communities and region. The system is quite complex. It evolves over the year. But I would say that it has allowed us to resolve all the difficulties what could have faced in other circumstances by discussion, by talking, by a little bit of diplomacy. So Belgium, 3 communities, culture, education, and 3 region, economy and transport. I understand that most of you are in business/trade. When it comes to Belgium, the ambassador and his team will always do their best to talk to you, to help you. But we have 3 specialized organizations, one from the northern part of Belgium, French part of Belgium, which is Flanders and Trade. Second one, in the southern part of Belgium, Wallonia, M.B.A, so it's Alex, and then Brussels also has this trade organization. So this was the first part, a bit more theoretical. I don't know if you have some questions at that stage or if you want to keep it for later.
Might it is, while our friends here are thinking about the question, that the 7 students I could not hear could quickly repeat where they are from. Yes, sir.
My name is Victor Mwanibe. I'm from Nigeria. I studied at business administration, like bachelor degree in Kansas University, and also studied my master degree in business management in Kansas University.
You're welcome. You can come sit here if you prefer, if you don't see well there, because you're but please, feel free. And young lady? Broad piece peace in Ireland, the price to pay was a very complicated structure in Northern Ireland with various powers, so that you get several parliaments, ministers, to make everybody happy, more or less, and to give the impression to everybody that they have a little part of the national sovereignty. That is not always London deciding about everything. And in Belgium, we did the same. Manida says very politely that it's a complicated system. It's a terribly complicated system, but we never had violence, right? So we have three different peoples, Flemings and French speakers, Wallonians, and the German speakers. And then we have this elaborate structure with various parliaments and various ministers. We even gave them the right to conclude international treaties. So Flanders or Wallonia alone could sign an international treaty with their partner countries. And if you follow elsewhere in Europe, in Spain today, it's a big discussion about Catalonia. Spain also has various nationalities or various people speaking various languages on their territory. It's a big challenge. It's a different story in every country. Cameroon chose also the federal way to build a federal structure, but it has its own challenges. So, well, the experience from Europe is that usually the price to pay is this. We cannot do like we used to do 200 years ago in Europe. Europe was built by majority people suppressing the minorities. The French have built their country by forcing everybody to speak French, and the same in England and the same in Italy. Now we don't do that way. We try to find other ways, but the price to pay, of course, is a less centralized, less efficient central government. But there is peace, no violence, and prosperity. Questions about Europe? I wanted.
I would like to ask why Belgium is the capital of Europe. Why? Historically, why Belgium? And now is EU capital. I want to ask.
Because it was the smaller country, so everybody agreed to put the capital there. So Europe, basically, after the Second World War, was a construction between France and Germany. The big challenge was to make sure that France and Germany, which had been at war for 1,000 years, Europe has been destroyed during 1,000 years by constant wars, mainly between France and Germany. So Europe was a construction to make sure they would never fight with each other again. And they started by gathering the steel and the coal industry. The most strategic industry in a war at that time was steel and energy coal. And they put it under a common authority, meaning France and Germany agreed to renounce their national sovereignty and put it in the hands of a European power to manage the steel and the coal industry. And then they needed a place to put that central authority, which will become later the European Commission. And of course, it couldn't be in France, it couldn't be in Germany. So they chose the little country in the middle. That was Belgium. I think it's just a political compromise. Also, nobody in 1956 could foresee the importance of that European Union would get. We could never imagine that. It was just considered to be a sort of another economic union without much visibility. And then it became a very big success story now with 28 countries. But to tell you the truth, it's not only Brussels. Strasbourg has something, and Luxembourg has the Court of Justice, and the European Parliament gathers in Strasbourg as well. So there is some compromise there as well.
Yeah. Three communities like culture and education. It's like Belgium has cultural diversification. I want to know how the government of Belgium has been able to bring peace to this lovely country, because, for example, like in my country, we have two languages, French and English, whereas the French people are more try to marginalize the English people because they are smaller in the population. So I want to know how the Belgian government has been able to bring together the three communities, the Flemish, the French, and the German-speaking communities, bring them together to be able to bring peace.
Once again, every country is a different story. There is sometimes one element that is very important, and you know it, sir, because you come from the English-speaking part of Cameroon. The people coming from the French-speaking part of Canada would know it as well.
Yeah.
And in Belgium, the Flemings know it. It is something that the other ones don't know. They know that their parents or grandparents nearly lost their language and culture. the French in Canada were nearly anglicized by force. 50 years ago, there was such a movement that everybody should speak English. And in your country, there is this pressure of French. It's the contrary. It's the French speakers who tend to consider that everybody should speak their language. And in Belgium, for the first 100 years of our history, the Dutch language was marginalized. It was French was supposed to be the important language. And it had even started that people in Flanders started to forget the Dutch language and started to switch over to French. And so in all those cases, you have this reaction, like in Quebec, probably like in your country, in Flanders, that you need to protect. If you're considered to be a minority, the more fragile culture in the country, you need very strong regulation to protect yourself. And that's what happened in the countries. Now the problem is not definitely solved. We still have nationalist parties, and it's a process. It's not finished in Belgium. We're still talking a lot about it. Another element is the economic prosperity, that we have a lot of companies, jobs, salaries are high, so it helps. If people have enough to eat and a good salary, it helps. I would say that it is. Would you add something else?
Truly, it has been a dynamic process that leads to whether young country was created in the 1830, and as the ambassadors say, mentioning here the community related to culture, education, or as a region, and so on. And it was indeed the Dutch-speaking part of Belgium that asked the king, please make sure we can keep our culture. And so it took a long time. People told others, say, okay, French-speaking people will have their own institutions, and Dutch-speaking people will have their own institution, and same for German-speaking. It's not always the easiest way of doing, and an example which is a funny one is this one. Study in Belgium would be easy, but study French, in Dutch, and it asks for a bit of collaboration to bring one paper like this together, because it could be studied in French-speaking Belgium, Finnish-speaking Belgium, German-speaking Belgium. Sometimes say, okay, well, let's put just Belgium on this, and then we need the approval of every different institution, but okay, we're working on it, we managed to come with one very small little brochure.
We can talk about the studies in Europe afterwards, but I wanted to add one thing also further to Belgium. One thing that you will face when you work for big companies, exporting companies in India, in Myanmar, in Thailand, in Nigeria, in Vietnam. One of the key things about Europe, the European Union, is that there is a division between North and South. It's not official. What I tell you is not official things, but I do think that it explains a lot of developments. The northern part of the European Union is probably with more a Protestant background. People speak English, right? Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, England. English is a natural second language, and people do feel at ease in the globalization. English is the language of the globalization, and Anglo-Saxon values are the liberal pro-market Anglo-Saxon values are behind it. They do feel at ease. If you are Swede or Dane or Dutch or Netherlands, you do feel completely at ease in that. And the southern part of the European Union, the French, Italy, Spain, Greece, is not like that. English is not a natural second language. People have problems to learn English. Try to take a bus in Paris. French is still the language, and a minority speaks proper English. And people consider the majority of people would consider globalization as a threat, not as an opportunity. And the border between Northern Europe and Southern Europe is just in Belgium. It's just the border there that you see. Brussels is in the middle, with Flanders in the north, where most of them speak English. Most of them consider globalization as an opportunity. They are good at it. When you're like us, Belgian diplomats abroad, a lot of the people we see come from Flanders. They are Flemings. They are not afraid to travel. All those Belgian students who come to study here, they're all Flemings. They are not afraid. Whereas where they speak French, English is not so natural. We still have a lot of ministers who do not speak English. I have a magistrate coming tomorrow from French-speaking Belgium to discuss with the Thai police. She doesn't speak English. So we have to find ways to translate what she says. Right? And it would be the same if she was from France or Italy or Spain or Portugal. It's the same. So you've got that big cultural gap. There is a cultural gap in the European Union. So it's a bit of a caricature. Of course, you've got a lot of people in France who are completely integrated in globalization and they prosper into it. And the north of Europe, they have their own social problems. But still, it's a very valid key. And if you work for an exporting big company, you will see it. Your approach will be different if you approach the northern European markets or the southern European markets. And if you work in multinational companies with northern Europeans, they all speak English, they are like the Americans, completely the same, similar. Whereas if you have people from southern Europe, the national identity is still very strong. Spaniard is Spanish, and the French is French. You see, I love speaking French with this gentleman from Guinea, and even if we have a Chinese young lady who speaks French. Well, and as we are freely exchanging ideas, but you interrupt me, I just wanted to add talking about the French language. Not the French language, but one more language. You all have your own national languages, and some of you perhaps speak several. In Myanmar, perhaps you speak Burmese and another local language. Nigeria, of course, you've got, or Guinea, you have several national languages, but English is important, is the most important one. But if you can add another international language, be it German or Spanish or French or Chinese, it's a big plus for you. And you have to do it as you are young. That would be my message. All of you speak very good English already. But I do think whatever your direction, if you work for big business or you work for the public sector or you work for the United Nations or you work for big NGOs, for UNICEF or civil society, the fact that you've got one more language next to English is very important, and you must start now. And of course, I think French is a very good one, but Spanish or Arabic or Chinese are all important languages. It's a big plus. It's also a plus intellectually because it opens to you the doors of wonderful cultures. Needless to say that the Chinese culture is one of the richest on the world, but the Spanish culture, the Spanish cinema, the Spanish literature, it's exceptional. And the same is true for Germany and other regions. And it is organized everywhere. You've got Goethe Institute when you can study German, you've got Alliance Française. For Spain, you need to go to Latin America, to Spain, spend some holiday and meet some young people. They are not so organized for teaching the language abroad, but it's a big plus. And our Chinese friends know that because a lot of them learn another language next to, of course, English. And next to English, most of them here speak Thai or French. You see? Ides, you disagree about Europe? And can I, just to start the discussion, I'm being a bit provocative.
If you want to have some more questions,
Okay, my last point, and then you continue, was to say that we suffer a little bit, all our EU colleagues, the French, the German, the Spain, the Spanish, Italian, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese engineers, and the Belgian ones. Okay, the Chinese would come in the middle of the Indians, come in the middle of the night, and they work. The hard-working culture that in Europe has not disappeared, but has become less. That's something I hear often, the hard-working culture. You don't see it so much about Thailand yet, but it's coming. They usually mention China, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Singapore. And nothing specific about Thailand, but in the world, it's a big problem for Western companies. It's called corruption. So I don't say it does not exist in the West, but not to the same amount. It's really a problem. In order to planify your investments and so on and so on. Big companies, small companies. We had, he just mentioned one of the small Belgian companies here, they invested in high tech. For knives, knives are used in many industries, like plastic. Thailand is one of the first producers of plastic in the world. Now, plastic industry, you need to cut the plastic all the time, make different sorts of little bowls, and for that you need specific knives with specific metal and a specific way to, how do you say, aiguiser, to sharpen. And to do that, you use Japanese technology, but you must know how to use it to sharpen the knives exactly to answer the needs that you're using. So they invested, a small company, high tech. So they invested outside Bangkok, but so difficult to find a piece of land. And as soon as you start building, you've got the police coming to asking if everything is okay. But I think it would be the same in many other places. Yeah, then you could say there's also corruption in Europe.
So everywhere
Yeah,
there.
when we
Yes.
talk about corruption, sorry to say this, like some companies that we have way back in our country, especially Shell, they are being owned by Europeans. So I think they kind of, like when you talk about corruption, they are number one.
To encourage it.
Europeans, they introduced corruption so much in our country, in the sense that they don't want to do the right thing. They always want to go through the corner to make things work. So corruption is everywhere.